Welcome to our new podcast, which we have titled "Do Hypnotherapists Fall into a Podcast?" Because that is exactly what happened with
Could not be more appropriate.
my dear and friend here, Sarah. So, I'm Rachel of Prosper Hypnotherapy, and I became a hypnotherapist for a long, windy path where I studied psychology at university. I later trained as a counsellor, person-centered therapist, and have worked in victim support, supporting people who have been victims of crime, and also at Centre 33, which is the Young People Support Centre, alongside working a full-time corporate job. And when I was made redundant, I decided this is the time to do more of what nourishes my soul. So I wanted to do more counselling, but I've opened a coffee shop with my husband and thought, it doesn't feel particularly safe for clients if I bump into them. So I looked for something I could do that I could still work in my coffee shop, and if clients came in, they wouldn't feel unsafe. So trained in hypnotherapy, which is where I met you, Sarah. So how
It
did
is
you get to be
indeed.
here?
We did. I had a very different path, actually. So my journey into mental health kind of really started with my daughter when she started experiencing anxiety when she was 10. So that was about 8 years ago. And I've just been on a journey because as a mum, I just kind of wanted to fix her. And so I put her in front of loads of different therapists and bought different books and all. I went on a complete journey. And I trained as a mindset coach, which was really great in helping me to support her whilst like managing my own emotions. But then I wanted to do more mindset coaching. Kind of, I felt only sort of like took me to a certain point, and I was seeing more and more clients that were experiencing anxiety, and so I found Solution Focused Hypnotherapy, and got my daughter to see a Solution Focused Hypnotherapist, and it was the one thing that has absolutely transformed her. So a lot of things have helped her along the way, but Solution Focused Hypnotherapy has been the one thing that really has made the lasting difference, which has just been absolutely fantastic. So yeah, so I trained, qualified with you back in, what was it, December 2020, I think.
Yes, it was.
It was, wasn't it? And I have been doing it ever since, and I absolutely love it. It is, yeah, it's just such a fantastic therapy, so gentle and yet so effective.
So it sounds like we both had experience of other therapies, which
Oh
I think
yes.
we both agree there is a time and a place for all therapies.
Oh, absolutely. And I think
Yeah,
it's really interesting because so I took my daughter through to lots of different therapies, and some of them worked fantastically for her, but they might not have lasted. Some of them she literally would walk into the room and immediately this wasn't for her.
yeah,
Um, and so it's really that there's, like you say, there's times, and any therapy can be right for the right person at the right time.
yeah.
It's just, I think with this one, because it is so gentle, and we'll get on to kind of like why it's a gentle therapy later on, but that's why it just really appealed to me as well to work in it, because it's just really positive.
Yeah. I know I've recently inspired someone who um, I was talking to about solution focus and how it all works. I think they came to one of my talks, and they are now training to be a hypnotherapist themselves.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. I love
So
that.
if someone was to ask you what solution focused hypnotherapy was,
Yeah.
how would you sum it up?
Okay. Well, for start, I'd say it's grounded in neuroscience, because I think so often you hear the word hypnotherapy or hypnosis, and people do think of like stage hypnosis and hypnotherapy, but
Yeah,
this is grounded in neuroscience. So it is a combination of solution focused brief therapy, which is all about looking into the future, how you want to feel, rather than focusing on the problem. It's very much looking at what you can do to move yourself forward and to get you to that stage where you want to be and feel happier, feel more confident. Then we combine it with hypnosis, which is amazing because it brings your conscious and your subconscious into focus. So enabling you to really get those decisions where you want to make those changes, where those actions that you want to take, it just makes that a little bit easier because you've got that subconscious part of your brain involved. Because, you know, quite often we know what we need to do to make ourselves feel happier, but actually taking that action can be really hard when you've got that primitive part of your brain that's going, whoa, hang on, that might not be safe, that might not be safe. So actually by using the hypnosis side, the trance side, it just makes making change that a little bit easier.
Yeah. I tell you what I love is in the initial consultation, we're sharing the knowledge and understanding.
Yeah.
And so just from the end of the initial consultation, I don't know if you find it, but my clients told me like, I'm already feeling so much better because I understand myself and why I'm behaving like this or feeling like this. So they go away with that understanding and the why they're doing what they're doing in the sessions with us and in between sessions.
Completely. And I think that's
not a magic wand, is it?
It's not a magic wand.
Although we do like to talk about a metaphorical magic wand.
But I think you're right, because I think so often when you feel anxious, when you feel depressed, when you're struggling with anger, you feel like you're the only one and you feel like your brain is broken. And that's particularly, you know, when you work with kids, being able to tell them that actually your brain is just doing exactly what it's meant to do. It's trying to, all it's doing is keeping you safe. It's just unfortunately gone into overdrive and has just learnt some bad habits. And we just need to kind of regain control and rein it in a little bit. Just having that relief, people go, oh, okay, this is normal. This is natural. This is, you know, I'm not broken. And there actually is light at the end of the tunnel. That is amazing to be able to offer people that.
I remember when we were doing our training, finding out that the mind can't tell the difference between reality and imagination. So however you're thinking about something, your brain will release the chemicals according to what you're thinking about. So if you're thinking about something happy, you'll get all the positive neurotransmitters. If you're thinking something negative, worrying, you know, you're going to get the stress hormones. And then how that impacts you and your behaviors. And actually your, like even your systems like IBS being triggered by stress because your brain's just released a load of cortisol. You know, it's like your body's preparing for fight, flight, freeze.
Yeah, completely. And it is, and exactly what I say, doing it to keep you safe.
Yeah.
The one that talking about that when the training, obviously the brain can't tell the difference between imagination and reality. It was also the fact that it doesn't matter what's going on in your life that's actually causing you to be, because I think so often we think, oh, it's because I'm going through divorce, I'm going through financial difficulties, or I've got the exam stress. But actually, it's not. It's the way we think about these things. That's what's causing the anxiety. And just having that kind of like realization that you've got control over those thoughts, that, you know, you don't have to think negatively and you have got power to change the way that you actually think about things.
Yeah.
It's really powerful.
Yeah, when you put your focus, plays such a big part in so much of how you experience life, doesn't it?
Yeah, completely.
Like if you think about something coming up, going wrong, you think about it 50 times, you just attend and then you go and it's fine, which it always was going to be fine. So you're worried about something so many times for no reason. But mentally, you've just attended, like, you've just been to that thing 51 times and 50 have been disasters, and you've just had all the chemicals.
Absolutely. Completely. And this is what we, you know, I talk to my clients a lot about, is that these stories that we tell ourselves, you know, they're so powerful. They, you know, that inner voice that you've got, that is the first thing you hear in the morning and it's the last thing you hear at night. And if it is not being kind and compassionate, supportive, positive, then it's, you know, it is going to make a difference in how you feel.
I saw your Instagram post, I think yesterday, about
that was about the inner voice, wasn't it?
Yeah, I feel like I may have inspired that.
Oh, did you?
That chat.
Yes.
You were like, let me just go back to this, Rach.
But it's true. But it's honestly, it comes up with most clients. if not all clients. I've had clients before that the story they tell themselves that they are negative people, or they tell themselves that they are weak, or that they can't do things. And actually, if they're telling themselves that, that's that needs to change for them to actually achieve something, because it's really loud, that voice in our head. So yeah.
So let's share what sessions actually look like. So people come along for a first initial consultation, and that's a chance for us to get to know the client and the client to get to know us. We both work with children, so age 8 and above, and in which case we'd ask their guardian to be in the room for the initial consultation, because we want them all to be on the same page, don't we?
Well, we do absolutely
understand what's happening, so they can help each other. And then during that initial consultation, we just share the neuroscience. We're going into a lot more detail than what we've talked about here, but talk about the physiology, the existing templates, the different parts of the brain that we refer to in this model as the intellectual, rational part of the brain, and the primitive, sort of angry, depressed, anxious, emotive side of the brain.
No, absolutely. And I think we do kind of chuck quite a lot of information, but I think it's really important that they understand what's happening and why it's happening, and more importantly, how we can actually help them move forward.
And of course, we revisit that explanation in all of our sessions.
Absolutely.
Going forward. So we're sort of reinforcing that education in our one-to-one sessions.
Yeah. No, completely.
So initial consultation it's really nice, isn't it? Because we get to know them, what's brought them to us. They get to know us. To know if they're vibing with us and trust us.
Yeah, because that is, as we were saying earlier, wasn't it? It's so important that you feel comfortable with whoever it is, whatever therapy it is, whatever you need to feel comfortable with that therapist, and have that, like you say, vibe, that just comfort that you can open up and talk to them easily, because that's so important.
So I don't know, because you do online as well, don't you? I do in person. And I've got my dogs here too. So my vibe is very laid back. So when you visit a therapist, it's not just the model of therapy they practice, but it's them as a person.
100%. Yeah. And like we were saying, some clients might not actually feel attracted to working with us, Rachel. Could you believe that?
I don't believe it. What?
Very few, obviously.
Yeah. Obviously.
But there might be some that'll be like, oh, she's not for me.
Yeah.
And that's fine. I think it's really, and that's why we do those initial consultations, isn't it? Because, people have got to feel comfortable, and they've got to have faith that they're seeing the right person.
Yeah, absolutely. So after the initial consultation, which is no obligation, I don't charge for mine. Do you charge?
I don't charge for mine either, no, because I think it's so important that you've got that rapport before you invest. Because it is an
no
investment.
Obligation.
Absolutely, 100%.
And then they'll come back.
Obviously.
Weekly sessions.
Yeah.
Which can vary how many, depending on what's brought them, how long they've experienced it, and how much work they put in between sessions.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. But the sessions, I anticipate, will follow the same kind of structure, but have our own little sparkle on it.
Yeah.
So I describe it as the sessions kind of being in two halves. So the first half being more the therapy. So when a client arrives, we don't know which part of the brain is in control, whether it's their primitive or intellectual part of the brain, which impacts how they're going to work. So we'll ask what's been good.
Absolutely.
Because by focusing on the good, we're getting positive neurotransmitters released.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then we'll work with them to set a goal.
Yeah.
For the week. Also including some brain revision there. So
always some brain revision. Absolutely. Absolutely.
What's happening and why.
Yeah.
why we're doing the work we're doing,
Yeah, because it is.
the impact
That's
of
a really
that.
important part of it, isn't it? Having that
Yeah,
understanding why. Yeah, and then obviously we've got the happiness or the confidence scale or whatever,
yeah,
but in some kind of gauge for them so they can
scaling.
measure, yeah, absolutely, kind of where they are so that they can see what improvements they can make.
Yeah. And then after we've help them find and set their own little goal for the week, which will be something that brings them joy.
Absolutely.
Because if people enjoy their therapy, they're going to keep doing it,
Of
and
course
then
they
they'll
are.
get the neurotransmitters that will motivate them to do more. And they're
Yeah,
just on this lovely scale, like uphill,
yeah,
regaining control and their life and
yeah.
feeling
And
empowered.
and they'll see by taking those sort of small steps, they will see how much of it actually is in their control,
Yeah.
isn't it?
And then the second half is my favourite,
Yeah, I think it's everybody's
personally.
favourite, isn't it? Let's be honest.
Yeah.
I feel like we make them work hard for the first half hour so that they earn the second part of it.
Yeah. But we're literally helping them reprogram their mind, aren't we?
Yeah,
That neuroplasticity. I struggled to say that word. I wish I didn't.
you did very well. You did very
Thank
well
you.
then.
It didn't feel great in my mouth. Neuroplasticity. Eating. Anywho, moving on. So the second half is about tramp. So that when they're in that lovely relaxed state of being, and we're using uh, neural linguistic language patterns,
Yeah.
which we're not telling them exactly what to do.
No, not at all.
Quite open and suggestive, but it's for their brains to pick what bits are right for them at that time,
Yeah.
and their brain will be working in a much better way to help them find their own answers and their
Absolutely.
own ways of making their dreams come true.
And I just think that it's really important to say that that is so much more powerful because if we tell somebody what they should be doing, immediately there's going to be something in the brain that's like, well, hang on a minute, why is she telling me to do this? What is that safe? Whereas actually, if they come up with their own solutions already, that's easier to do because there's part of that brain that's already like, oh, okay, yeah, no, actually I can do this. This is going to be safe. This is going to make me
I
feel
want
good.
to do this.
Yeah,
I
absolutely. And
choose
that
to
little
do this.
yeah, that little change in language is so powerful. Rather
Yeah,
than, oh, I have to. My therapist said I had to do this.
yeah,
Actually, I'm choosing to do this. I'm getting to do this. Makes it,
yeah.
yeah, really powerful. And then, yeah, so then they have that lovely deep relaxation.
It is pretty dreamy. So, who do you tend to help? What kind of
Yeah, well, like you, I
issues do
guess I
you
help
help
sort of
with?
a wide variety of people. A lot of it comes back to anxiety. So I see a lot of people that experience social anxiety, health anxiety, um, also anger issues. People because obviously some people will react to a full stress bucket with anxiety, but some people
Mhm.
actually it'll put them into that fight part of the fight button, please, and they'll struggle with anger. I also see a lot of phobias. We also help with pain management, low confidence, low mood. Oh my goodness, there's so many things. I always forget some part
Yeah.
when I reel it off.
Well, I think the beauty is pretty much we can help with anything and everything, can't we? Because
Yeah,
people often come for one thing, assuming they're not in a mental health crisis or experiencing like
psychosis.
psychosis, in
Yeah,
which case they need to see their primary care
yeah,
practitioner. But if things are being managed, or they could come for one thing, but the actual model of hypnotherapy, because it's helping them reprogram their mind and coming up with like newer, better ways of doing things and thinking, it naturally helps with everything, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
If
I
it's not life changing, it's life enhancing.
Yes, yeah, completely. And it's really interesting because like when you do see clients, and I had one client that sort of came, they wanted to improve the way they were performing in a sport, but actually they had so many other benefits in different areas of their life. even
Yeah.
though, that's what they come to. And, yeah, their sporting performance went great as well. But actually, they recognised that they were just feeling happier and feeling more confident in all different areas of their life as well.
Yeah. So cool. I love it.
It is.
Yeah.
I know we're biased, but it is. And as I said before, it's just the reason I love solution focused hypnotherapy is because it is incredibly effective, but it's so gentle.
Yeah.
And, because we don't, particularly when you are dealing with younger people, you don't, it's really traumatic for them to have to talk about
Yeah.
things that have been upsetting them, their fears, their traumas, because we know that, just voicing that and thinking about it again, it puts it all back into that stress bucket and
Yeah.
makes them feel. So the fact that, they know that every week they come to see us, actually, we're just going to talk about really positive things and just talk about
Yeah.
how it is they want to feel and what they can do.
Yeah.
I think it's really, really gentle, but really effective.
Yeah. I love that as well. And I think there's so many therapies out there that if people want to talk about their problems, then there are so many options.
Oh, completely. And
If people want to, sorry.
No. I was completely, you little button, don't we? No, I completely agree. I was just going to say that actually, what I've noticed in some of my clients, they've come to see me. They haven't been able to cope with something like CBT or counselling because they just don't want to kind of open that Pandora's box. But after they've seen me for a few weeks, actually they get to that stage where they're feeling more confident, that they're feeling happy, they're feeling more in control. And then they may decide, actually, do you know what? I do want to go and revisit that and see if I can kind of process that with some help or something. So it's really interesting how I think a lot of these therapies actually complement each other.
Yeah. I've just had something in my mind to say, but it's gone. It started with, I love.
Why do you love solution focused hypnotherapy? Because I've rambled on.
So many reasons. I think I've actually had a client skip out before.
Oh, I love that. That's amazing.
Yeah, I love that this particular model, we're not revisiting past trauma, apart from like in the initial consultation where someone might talk about something that's brought them to us. Yeah. After that, we're future focused.
Yeah.
So I think that's wonderful. And it's not that we're ignoring it, but we're allowing their brain to rewire so that they can process it in a safe way for them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Some things can be buried for a reason. So it's helping them, condition their brain to work better, to work at its optimum, to make better decisions for themselves.
Oh, yeah. You described that perfectly.
Thank you, because I feel like I'm waffling. And I love that it's the more people who know about it, the better, because there's a shared language, isn't there? Like when we do talks about solution focused hypnotherapy or the neuroscience behind it, what causes stress, burnout, anger, anxiety, depression, OCD, and how the changes that we work with encourage the brain to rewire. It's just incredible how I just think it's absolutely mind blowing. On the education on helping you understand yourself on a whole new level.
Yeah.
But then also our clients walk away with the tools.
Exactly.
So they get
the used later on in life, can't they? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's where I was going. My initial thought. People come for one thing, and particularly, I love it when young people come because they're set for life, aren't they?
Exactly. Honestly.
The resilience they build is phenomenal.
Completely, because it's something that you can just revisit yourself at any point. And it's a really good toolbox of tricks, isn't it, to help you. And even just that ability to recognize when that primitive part of your brain is actually kicking in and you're losing that control, that's quite powerful on its own. So yeah, Oh, we could go on and on about this, couldn't we?
Yeah, and I feel like we've not shared a lot of the technical details
No,
because it's quite
absolutely.
hard to stay part of it and then for it to be understood out of context. You
Yeah.
kind of need to share it all, don't we?
You do, but we will be here forever.
Yeah.
We did. And we
So
promised
people
ourselves.
can book in for one-to-one
That's true.
initial
Well,
consultations
and
or
also, you know, this is
corporate
obviously
workbench.
this is our first ever attempt at a podcast. So,
Apart
you
from
know,
the previous one.
they were practice ones.
Well, I mean, we didn't intend to do that. We were just on a call and we hit record and we were like,
That's a,
look, it sounds like
this is our first. Hopefully, this is the one that actually gets published. This is our first one. But you know, there's so many areas we can explore, can't we, in future episodes?
Yeah.
So we know we can look at, you know, some of the like simple and complex phobias and anxiety in more detail and get really down into that kind of like that brain revision so that people know, you know, because I think it is important that, as we said, this is grounded in neuroscience. It's not just airy fairy.
And
just talk positive.
we are members of the National Council of Hypnotherapists.
Yeah.
And the Association for Solution Focused Hypnotherapy.
That's right. Yeah.
Which both have code of conducts.
Completely.
And we see a supervisor to make sure that we're working ethically and within the standards. So,
yeah. No, I think that's important as well.